Welcome everyone to SERP Focus segment number 2. That's right, the second ever SERP Focus segment. You're watching history being made right now. And in this SERP Focus segment, we're going to be talking about PBN metrics. That's right, PBN metrics are bullshit unless ... Now, this is something I wanted to clarify because it's a question that I see come up all the time, and I'm constantly commenting on it. And essentially, my comment goes something like this: PBN metrics are BS. They don't mean anything when it comes to site authority. That's really the bottom line. And then, of course, the next question I always get is, well, if you don't look at PBN metrics, if you're not looking at trust flow, Moz, metrics, then what are you looking at to determine the quality of a domain? And then my response to that usually is, well, backlinks and referring domains. But that really still leaves a lot of question as to what does that mean? What is quality? What are you actually looking for? Okay, because there are metrics that you can use to determine the quality of a website or the power or authority of a website. But we don't want to use these made up metrics like trust flow or domain authority or citation flow. Now, I'll admit that I use these sometimes in sorting or kind of, going through PBNs and looking at things, but they're kind of a baseline, very bottom of the line baseline that I'm looking at, just to kind of get the ball rolling, just to kind of get a list together or something together where I can determine, you know, what uh, what actually it is that I'm looking for on a granular level after I have, those keywords, or sorry, those URLs sorted out by a certain way. So now let me clarify, what do I mean when I say PBN metrics? When I'm referring to PBN metrics are bullshit, I'm talking about trust flow, Moz, domain authority, the type of metrics that are based on third-party algorithms. Okay, a software that someone else made up is taking in data from the internet and putting it on a number scale, which is their belief that is what Google is saying that is. Okay, right? So those mean nothing. They're third-party metrics. Ahrefs, URL rank, trust flow, Moz, spam score, all that stuff can be pertinent, but it really means nothing at the end of the day when it comes to looking at domains. So what really does matter? I mean, if we filter a list by trust flow or domain authority, what are we really looking for? So let's jump on over right now, and I'm going to pull up, I got Register Compass here. I already ran just a very basic list, very basic search. I think you can see up here I filtered, I'm just looking at public auctions. We have less than $300 for the bid. Okay, for Majestic IPs, I put less than 2,000, and for Majestic C class greater than 50. So I'm able to look at domains that have less than 2,000 referring IPs but have more than 50 C class. So it's kind of creating a range. So I don't have sites that have like 5 million backlinks, because those can definitely get more iffy when you're looking at the type of backlinks and the link velocity and everything that was used. But this right here, I mean, this is just a basic filter. I know I don't want to spend more than 300. And I got, I'm looking at public auctions, and I know referring domains, right? See, referring domains is one of those metrics that I was referring to before. Now, obviously, Majestic and Moz and Ahrefs, they don't have all the data. They don't have every single backlink on the internet. But those metrics are based off of hard data. Okay, they've actually seen a backlink on the internet coming from one website and going to another, and that metric is based on hard data. Something like trust flow or Moz domain authority, that's a metric that is based off an algorithm that is analyzing the hard data, that's taking the number of referring domains and the rankings or site traffic and things like that. So these are the type of metrics we want to look at: referring domains, referring IPs, and things of that sort. So like I said before, I say look at the backlinks, look at referring domains. What does that really mean? Well, when determining a website's authority, the easiest way to really see if Google finds it authoritative is what Google is allowing the site to do, right, within their organic search. Site traffic, traffic price, the keywords that it's ranking for. When you start looking at number of backlinks, referring domains, what referring domains there are, and looking at site history, like how many pages used to be on the website, how many of them were indexed in Google, how many were ranking for keywords, how much traffic was the site getting. So here I sorted it by the SEM rush traffic. So we have it from the greatest traffic, going down here. And right out the gate, you can see, some of these basic metrics look pretty good. We got some good domain authorities in the mix here. The trust flows obviously don't look too good, but see, this is why I really want to dig into this a little bit further. And this goes for expired domains too. You can look at the same things, look at the archive, history snapshots, but let's just dig into one of these a little bit more. So we've sorted them by SEM rush traffic. Glass slippers. Let's jump over here. We'll look at some of these domains. Uh, Coyote hunting, movietuner.net. So some various niches: outdoors, recreational, media. Um, some game guys, it looks like. But let's just look at one of these top ones here. For foremost coyote hunting. Looks like that one. So if we bring this up right here, first off, let's jump over to Ahrefs. I don't think they have an Ahrefs button here, so let's copy this and we'll go over and look at it right over here real fast. All right, so right out the gate, you can see the UR ranking, not too great, right? The DR, looks pretty good. We could maybe put www in here. That might make it look a little bit better. But what you'll also see is, look at the number of referring domains: 116 in the fresh, 82 in the live. We have 1.5 thousand organic keywords ranking, 2.2 thousand traffic for the site, right? And the UR actually doesn't look too bad here. Let's jump over and look at Majestic real quick, because that's always a good example. This is a third-party tool that just pulls the data from Majestic for me. So let's take a look here and see what we got. All right, so you can see here it has a trust flow of 12 and a citation flow of 12 there. You can see the number of backlinks, but their metrics: trust flow 12, citation flow of 12. That doesn't look too good, right? Most people would say, I don't want to spend that much on a on a website with that low. I'm trying to buy a top quality. These are auction sites, okay? These can go for quite a bit. I'm not sure. Let's see if this one's going for more than $12 or what it's going for right now. So it's up to 22, and we still have 2 days left on the auction, right? So by the time this finishes, it could be 80, could be 100, could be 300. But looking at this trust flow, a lot of people would say, I don't want to invest too much in this site. Not that good. But when we start looking at what is actually happening with the site, or what actually happened with the site. So with the organic keywords here, let's just click on some of those and see what type of traffic or rankings this thing had, right? So here's a 1400 keyword. It was ranking position 7, right? Some number 1 keywords. Let's go by, that's sorted by traffic actually, but let's just get an idea of the keyword volume too. All right, so some position number 11 for 8,900 search. And yeah, maybe you're not trying to target Coyote Sounds, right? That's not your, but the point is if a site's ranking for this many keywords and a site is getting traffic, right? This is the traffic of the site. And this was last updated, it looks like December 4th, right? So that was about a month ago at this point. Not too long ago, this site was getting a lot of traffic for these keywords. And let's just double check here real quick. We can see if it's indexed in Google. All right, still indexed, looks good. Let's go look at the archive and see what that looks like, see if it bounced around too much or not. So now if you say you had the outdoor niche, or obviously hunting of any kind would be good. Hobbies even could work into this, because it's hunting is a hobby. there's so many different types of things that you can kind of fit this niche into. And more importantly, if this site has good links, and by good links I mean referring domains, we'll take a look at that in a second. And if we have a healthy site with healthy content, right? So this looks like some kind of blog. I don't really see like outbound links or anything crazy. We could always, yeah. So that looks good. Looks like a regular site to me. We could check future archive as well and see what that looks like. See if it changed. Still looks like the same site here. So looking at the archive, if this has a good archive, if we can restore this archive, right, we can restore uh, these URLs, we can potentially get a lot of these rankings back, right? Get these URLs back indexed and get that 3 position, number 2 position, 1 position. And then when you're posting links to your website, you can push traffic to your website. You know what I mean? You could actually generate traffic with this PBN. And it's already indexed. We know Google's still trusting it. You could throw it in an SEM rush and see if there was a major drop off before the site went away. You can kind of analyze it a little bit deeper. But now if I can register this site, even for $50, $100, it may not even go for that much because people are looking at metrics so much here. And we can restore the website, possibly get some of these rankings back. Not to mention just the opportunity to have all this content here. We could throw AdSense, we could monetize the PBN, and just let's take a look at the backlinks here real quick. More importantly, let's look at the referring domains. And referring domains, this is what I use the most to kind of determine what I can use this site for. How do I want to kind of niche theme it? I may not make this site exactly about coyote hunting. I might just make it about hunting in general, or foremost coyote hunting, outdoor activities and hobbies or something like that, right? So I'll look at the referring domains and let's just where'd it go? Okay, so let's get back over there. So we can see we got Reddit, FeedBurner, Blogger, some basic ones, reference.com, not too bad, some Yahoo Answers, BearShare, it sounds like something could be good, some kind of wiki here, Truth About Fur, okay, hot musicers, some different ones here. Definitely looks like some better, good referring domains that are here. And we could look at the individual backlinks. I would recommend doing that and seeing, what kind of links it has. But let's just look at, one of these here, like this hunt spot. Okay, this is obviously a relevant link for hunting. Okay, and if we actually go over here and we go check out the overview on this site, this site's ranking for 3.1 thousand keywords and gets over 8,000 organic traffic from Google, from search a month, right? It's got 51 referring domains, right? Definitely not what people would call the highest quality site, but it's got all these rankings and all these traffic, and this is linking to the site that we were just looking at, right? Let's go take a look at another one. And this is what I really look at when I say look at referring domains, look at the backlinks, look at what these sites actually are. Look at the quality. See how many pages, these sites have indexed in Google, right? So like BearShare right here, let's go to overview on that one. And we got, again, not as much traffic. Looks like some more referring domains, a lot more referring domains on this. I mean, we could even go ahead and just see, is this website trusted by Google? It's got over 1,000 pages indexed in Google, right? So this is a trusted backlink as far as I'm concerned for my PBN. Now, am I going to sit here and say I don't want to spend $100 on a site with a 12 trust flow? No, definitely not. And that's what I really want to get across here, is that when you're looking at metrics, try and look at metrics that we know, metrics that are based on data, not on algorithms, right? Domain age. This is a metric based on data. This is when the domain was originally registered, right? Number of pages indexed in Google. That's a metric based on data, not based on just some algorithm that took data and turned it into an arbitrary number that means nothing, right? Referring domains, the amount of traffic. Obviously, no third party is going to have 100% this data all the time, but these are the type of metrics that you want to focus on more than anything. Focus on what Google is saying the site is relevant, what Google is saying is authoritative. This comes down to competition analysis. This comes down to running your campaigns. It's kind of all encompass the mindset that you need to have when you're understanding authority and relevance online. So to clarify again, PBN metrics are bullshit. The basic metrics that everyone's using, right? Trust flow, citation flow, domain authority, spam score, Ahrefs rank, URL rank, all those algorithm-based metrics mean absolutely nothing at the end of the day. Could mean that there's some authority or relevance, but as far as ranking a website in Google and building backlinks and providing to Google what they're looking for, those metrics mean nothing. Okay, what matters? Referring domains, relevance, quality of referring domains, quality of pages with referring domains, archive history, index history, uh, you know, uh, SEMrush traffic estimates even. That's again kind of based off an algorithm, but it'll give you a good idea of what they're saying Google would say with PPC, what this traffic is worth. The type of metrics that aren't just based off of someone's idea of what Google finds important and instead is data-driven metrics. That's what you want to look for. Those metrics matter. Those metrics are not bullshit, and those metrics will allow you to find really awesome sites without focusing and getting caught up in all the spam and this and that, and is this trust flow high enough or has a low domain authority. Don't go around in circles with that stuff. Start looking at what is really authoritative, what's really trusted, and what Google is actually telling you based on hard data and not on some third-party algorithm. So that's it for the SERP Focus segment number 2. I really hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, be sure to get into our Facebook group. Ask anything that you want in there. I'm in there all the time answering questions. And if you have a question that I'm seeing a lot or it really needs to be expanded a little more, we will go ahead and make a SERP Focus segment about it. And that's it. Thanks for watching.